Politicians around the world have destroyed the economy. Again, they got that little clown boy, Starmer in the Krone in France, Merz in Germany. Their ratings are under 20%. The economies are going to crap everywhere. Let's go back before the COVID war began. People have no idea about this. Oh, you heard that clown guy, Bassett, Treasury Secretary, come out the other day and saying that inflation is only temporary. Remember we heard the same crap spewing out of Powell's mouth, the former Fed head, and Miss Facha Brute, Janet Yellen? It's only transitory. Remember that? So let's go back to the COVID war. And people forget about this and why inflation where it is. You can't go to work, can't go to school, go home. Hey, here's free money. Hey, we're bringing interest rates down to zero. They did it all over the world. They artificially propped up the global economy with fake money backed by nothing and printed on nothing. That's what caused inflation. And now we got a new level of it. Now let's go back. And what are home prices in America have only gone up, what? About 50% since then, or a little more? Oh, how about car prices? Only up a little over 40%. One of our trend forecasts is a office building bust. What would you call America's emptiest downtown? Denver. Nearly 40% of the office space in central business districts are vacant. Now let's think about all the businesses that used to rely on people going to work and having lunch and happy hours. They don't do that anymore. Again, the number of office apartments conversions are increasing because they're buying these buildings so cheap. So the bottom line is there's going to be defaults on these buildings. The banks are not going to be able to cover the losses. No one's talking about this. There's going to be an office building bust. It's already happening. Let's go back to the panic of '08. Do you remember when the housing boom happened after 9/11 and everybody forgot about 9/11? Hey, you don't have a job, you're out of work, you're deep in debt. Don't worry about it. Sign over here. Subprime mortgage. The language of the Levy Institute at Bard College. The Federal Reserve bailed out the bankers $29 trillion. So they're going to do everything they can to keep artificially propping this thing up. One of my sayings is that the 20th century was the American century, but the 21st century will be the Chinese century because the business of China is business and the business of America is war. And just look at the facts. Let's go back to February of last year, 2025. Trump said he was going to cut the military budget by $500 billion. What did he say this February? I'm going to increase it by $500 billion. Once upon a time, there was this cat by the name of Dwight D. Eisenhower. He warns the American people that the military-industrial complex is robbing the nation of the genius of the scientists, the sweat of the laborers, and the future of the children. Here we are. I'm up in Kingston, New York, right? Everywhere I drive, from here to New York City, boom, 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 crap. I could drive from Kingston to Montreal in 4.5 hours. I take Amtrak, 10 hours each way. Hey, how about those trains in China? Well, they go about 300 something miles an hour in a whole different world, a space world in China. You go to New York subway, it's a night in Calcutta. Again, goes back to Slick Willie. He brought China into the World Trade Organization 25 years ago. China had nothing. The Western nations went to China and gave China all the heavy industry and high-tech technology that they never had because they wanted cheap labor. And they were making a lot of money. You look at the car sales of Volkswagen, Ford, GM, everything was skyrocketing. And then what happened? The Chinese said, we don't need you anymore. Hey, who's leading the world in EVs? Hey, now let's go back to AI. There's going to be a dot-com bust in America. They've overinvested in these countries. Go back again when Slick Willie brought China into the World Trade Organization. 10% of Chinese 18-year-olds went to college back then. Now, 70%. They're very intelligent people. Again, whether you like it, hate it, want it, it's what it is. AI is the future. And China's going to lead it. You saw what happened a year ago when DeepSeek came out that nobody ever heard of. And now let's put another line together. Look what's happened with these private equity groups. They're cutting back the amount of money that the investors want back. Why? Because a lot of these companies invested in AI, particularly in software elements. And AI's taking those over. And the people want their money back. It's one after another. And what they're doing also, they're opening up more and more factories in countries all over the world. So they're going to take the lead in this thing as this country is rotting in front of our eyes. I'm heartbroken. Look at the bridges. It took me over a half hour to get over the Poughkeepsie Bridge because they're doing construction now for like about 2 months. It was China would be done in 2 weeks. Oh, and how about the people that are protesting all over the country about them building these things in their environment? It's one after another. And again, let's look at the America's gross domestic product, which is barely growing. And where is it coming from? Almost 50% of US GDP is AI investing. I thought the dot-com bust would have happened very much earlier. The whole thing is rigged. What do you have? 3 companies, BlackRock, Vanguard, and State Street, have 88% of the value of the S&P 500? They're rigging the markets. Hey, there's going to be a peace deal tomorrow. All right. All right. How many have heard this since February 28th? The longer the war rages, the higher oil prices will rise, and much of the world, as we detail in this and previous trends journals, will not sink into stagflation, as they're saying. It will be dragflation, declining economic growth and rising inflation. And in these times of serious geopolitical and economic strife, we remain bullish on gold and silver prices. So, go back to gold and silver. Oh, what did India just sell? It was like $12 billion worth of gold. We sold $20 billion worth of gold. India, I heard like 20 tons of gold. Their economies are going way down. Their currencies are crashing. Their debt load is increasing, and they're selling this stuff because they need the dough. So it's only a temporary downturn, because when the economies go to hell, gold and silver prices skyrocket. No, this is serious. One of the covers of the Trends Journal like a few weeks ago, we said warmongers start a war that 8 billion people are paying the price for, and they don't stop it. I'm not making it up. It is outrageous, and I'm heartbroken. I go out to these different places in the Hudson Valley to get my mind off it. I watch nature, and I'm heartbroken to see what's going on, the demise of this country. People are going broke all over. I don't eat out that much, but I go out and go to restaurants. So I ask the owners, how's business? Nearly everyone tells me it's down about 30%. I'm concerned about a false flag event that will unite the people to fight Iran. I tell people this all the time. Just Google it up. History Today. On July 26, 1946, President Franklin Roosevelt seized all Japanese assets in America. You know why? Those dirty Japanese invaded French Indochina. Wait a minute. Number one, I'm an American. What do I care about that? You mean Vietnam, Laos, and Cambodia? And they got to call it French Indochina? Well, we were in Morocco. We were in Algeria. We're in about 22 countries. Google it up. The Dutch East Indies. What are the Dutch doing in Indonesia? Oh, the same thing the French are doing. And the UK, where the sun never sets on the British Empire, was stealing, robbing, and pillaging land all over the world. United with the United States, you ready? Cut off 3/4 of Japanese trade, and they import 98%. They cut off 88% of their oil. Can't understand why Japan bombed Pearl Harbor after a couple of months later. All right? There's going to be a false flag event that's going to unite the American people. Let's go back to the dot-com bust. Oh, the NASDAQ went down, what, almost 80%? People couldn't stand little George W. Bush. 9/11 happened. Everybody forgot about it. And that was the beginning of the fake housing boom. So that's my concern. There might be a false flag event that will unite the people to escalate this war. And that will help the Republicans in the midterm. Well, look at the power that Trump has pulled so far. Yeah, I know he lost the one in Iowa, but look how he wiped out Massey in Kentucky. Massey was very popular. They spent $33 million to wipe him out. So they're going to do everything they can. I've been with presidents, prime ministers, and princes, and on the other side. It's a crime syndicate that people call the government, and they'll do anything to stay in power. Well, look at the fertilizer issue. I mean, that's another huge one. And you're seeing the prices of so many things going up, like beef and other things. And again, 20% is cut off now. And now if the Houthis get involved and they cut off more in the Red Sea, it's going to be a whole nother deal too. And again, it breaks my heart that, again, 8 billion people can't stop 2 guys from doing this. I also think the market's going to crash, and it may not happen until October. That's when the reality starts setting in. And when you look at where the busts happen, they either happen in March or October. Oh, this is very important. Again, not what you like, what you want, what you wish. What is? The Gen Z revolution. They elected a guy in New York City. Again, I'm a New York City guy. Mandani. Nobody ever heard of him. How did he get in there? Social media, as you were saying before, and Gen Z. So the 21 to 29-year-olds went out and voted in massive numbers. Same thing in Nepal, Bulgaria, Tanzania. They started a new party in India called the Cockroach Party because one of these top guys in the Indian government call the Gen Z people cockroaches that don't want to work. The reason they're not working is they can't find any jobs. That's what's going on. So this Gen Z could be very, very important in the upcoming elections. They're social media advanced. I'm not good at it at all. Ain't my trip. I'm of a different generation, a different time. When I was a young man, there were things called hardware stores, stationery stores, drug stores, shoe stores, clothing stores, fish stores. Now the chains own everything. Oh, we got Lowe's. We got Home Depot. Grocery store. No, we got Hannaford's. We got, all right, Kroger. So the young people have no future and they're very, very depressed.